Namaste, angels. This is the weekly reading. We're going to get started right away. Beginning with the dice and weekend away. It's 50-50 cocktail and quickie. And for some, I think the quickie definitely has to do with the weekend away. Even if you don't actually travel anywhere, it could be like over the weekend, maybe. You don't even have to take the whole weekend, but maybe it's possibly over the weekend or whatever your weekend is when you get to finish your work. Taking some time to yourself rather than giving it to other people, and it may be with balance in mind because you're just feeling sort of off. And then we have the it's 50-50 here. Maybe you even have a cocktail, and maybe they all go together. And Spirit says sex. I'm getting gender reveal for somebody, maybe coming up this week. And then look, we have eat cake. So it could be a celebration, you know, like I said, a baby shower, a gender reveal or something. The eat cake going with the sex. For other people, you know, maybe you actually get to have some sex, which can be nice. And we got I'm on top here. It's going to be, again, about prioritizing yourself. It may go with taking some time to yourself this week. And yes. So yes or no questions that you've been pondering? Yes. With the cards, we're starting with the Seven of Pentacles, Daughter, Personal Healing and Happiness, and the Dreamer, or the Fool. Dreamer is the Fool in this deck. It also has a lot to do for me with the planet Mercury. This card has always felt like the planet Mercury. I cannot explain what that means. But the first time I touched it, and it doesn't matter how many times I rebuy this deck over and over again, the dreamer always feels like the planet Mercury. So that sort of represents for me the planet Mercury and the signs of Gemini and Virgo, which Mercury rules. But it is also the Fool in the traditional tarot, Major Arcana card 0. I'm looking at it right now in tandem with the other decks. So the Seven of Pentacles, where this woman is watching, you know, her pentacles grow. She's taking care of them. She's fed them. And she's watching them grow. And then Daughter, Personal Healing and Happiness. And I think, yep, the next card in all of these decks is in reverse. So we were only meant to look at the top card, which is interesting too. And I didn't realize until just now. But right away, I just felt drawn to looking at them all together. And I think that something we've been trying to manifest, and it can be something internal, like maybe you're trying to, maybe you're trying to do something for Lent. You're trying to give something up. You know, you've been working on it and you need discipline. That could be something that works for you. You could be trying to like get over an addiction or to like go on a diet or something, or change your habits in some way that will affect your health, improve your health, or help to maintain it. And that would be internal. Or it can be something external also. Whether you're looking for a job, and as I'm talking about health and healing, we have an ambulance passing by, giving us that message that, yeah, it's time to, maybe I'm on top, time to prioritize yourself, and maybe again, take some time to yourself, so for some rest or something, away from everyone else, if you get it, like instead of giving all of yourself to away all the time. Is what I'm really feeling. That could definitely go with this Daughter, Personal Healing and Happiness. Maybe that's one of the things you want to stop doing. You know, maybe that's what, you know, until you're putting a focus. Whatever it is that you've been trying to manifest for yourself, for your own personal healing and happiness, is actually ready to be received. And that's also what the Seven of Pentacles says. Reaping what we've sown. So now we just have to be like brave enough to realize it and brave enough to accept it and to have it. Because you know when something's actually coming true, something that we've dreamed about, you know, a lot of times we self-sabotage and we mess it up, or we, you know, reject it when it finally shows up, and then it's like, you know, we're upset later that, you know, we don't get what we want, but a lot of times we get what we want, and we don't do what we need to do to, you know, make it, again, a reality. The universe is trying to give us what we want, and we don't do what we need to do to make it a reality. And sometimes that can be out of fear. Like, oh my God, this is too much. So if we need to walk away from anything non-tangible, like an emotion, a negative emotion, a block, it would be from that. And walking toward, again, our goals, our dreams, whatever it is we've been trying to accomplish toward our personal healing and happiness that is trying to actually manifest right now. And this is the card actually that was in reverse behind the Seven of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles. So now it's upright. It is our overall energy at this point, followed by the Ace of Wands in reverse. This week there are a couple of transits. There was like nothing on any of the theological calendars, so I won't talk about any of that stuff at the end of the reading, but there was a lot going on in terms of the planetary calendar, the celestial calendar. So we have a transit with Mercury. We have Mercury leaving Aquarius and entering Pisces this week. And then we have both Mars and Venus leaving Capricorn and entering Aquarius this week. Overall energy here, Angel of Love in reverse, followed by the Thinking Man. I think in the moon reading, I mean, the Angel of Love showed up for sure. In the moon reading or the general or the regular reading I did last week. I'm not sure which one. Maybe both. She definitely showed up recently, and she was upright, and I think she was crossing the Thinking Man. And I talked about that being possibly a man entering your life romantically. Or, you know, represent what masculine energy maybe. It doesn't have to be an actual man. He's also somebody that can be somebody that gives advice. So since this is also a general reading, I'm going to do love-specific placements. But since this is also a general, he can be somebody that's coming in with advice, maybe for your love life, maybe to help you. Maybe he is an actual therapist or something that you're seeing that's going to give you some sort of guidance. This is interesting. I saw the Three of Swords a lot when I was shuffling. A lot. And it was kind of surprised me because I'm expecting this reading to be pretty much positive based on the moon reading, which ultimately at least was positive. I mean, the Tower showed up several times, so maybe that's what this is about. Maybe some of us have to experience some sort of loss or separation or sadness of some sort in order for the new beginning to come. There's a new moon in the picture, so that's why it's giving me kind of like a pause, like that's really interesting. It was the new moon in Pisces reading that I'm talking about here. This could also be past and what's causing fear of leaping out at a new beginning too, because you see it's behind. I opened up to it, but to put the Fool on top of it, so it's like it's behind you. That thing that didn't work or that caused you pain, caused you sadness is behind you, and then here is a new start if you dare to take it. Also see the Lovers sticking out. So I would say between the Angel of Love being in reverse, the Three of Swords popping up after that, and now the Lovers with the Queen of Pentacles. This could definitely be more Venus. The Lovers showing up, it could definitely be with either with a heart versus head decision, if it's still about something general, or love and relationship. Queen of Pentacles may be a Taurus, most directly, but also possibly a Virgo. Again, I was talking about Mercury a minute ago, ruler of Gemini and Virgo. It could be a Virgo or a Capricorn. And, it may have to do with Venus leaving Capricorn, perhaps. And and again entering Aquarius. We shall see. But as I say that, now I leave the Empress on top here, and that's also Venus, and is a representation of the signs Taurus, Libra, and Gemini. With those being the signs that Venus rules. Most people know readily about Taurus and Libra. Venus is also, in fact, the ancient ruler of the sign of Gemini. Or what they call the esoteric ruler. Okay. And now we have an overall energy of the King of Wands, who is inspiring, dynamic, ambitious, and wise. Now's your moment to step up into a leadership role. Don't back away. I don't know where I saw worry. That's so crazy. Don't back away from the spotlight, as your plans will be successful as long as you stay focused upon the big picture. Somebody has something not to worry about, though, because I somehow saw that in writing and then was like, what? Double take. There's another new moon, too. So I'd say it's attached to those energies as well. The King of Wands is inspiring, dynamic, ambitious, and wise. Also noticing the little bird. Did you notice the two birds on the Three of Swords? There's a little bird in the tree here. Queen of Pentacles also, I'm getting, like she feels like home because she makes a home, but it's like, oh, this feels like home, or you feel like home. Could be about missing somebody too, the Three of Swords. Missing someone or missing that feeling of home. And I'm actually getting that song from The Wiz. The Wiz. I guess it was in the play and the movie. The soundtrack. Which I was also on, by the way. I was on the soundtrack of The Wiz. In the chorus of the song about The Wiz. He's the Wiz and he lives in Oz. It was sung by me and a couple of other children. Anyway, that's not what I was going to tell you. The Stephanie Mills song, which I guess I'm also seeing Diana singing it. So I guess it was in the movie and the play. When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home. I wish I was back there for the things I've been knowing. And I can see her and kind of hear faintly more words, but I'm not getting them clearly to tell you what they are. So I'm going to say that that first part was somebody's message, or maybe a message for several people. The card that's going to most directly represent us this week is the Two of Swords in reverse, which is very interesting because if any of you saw the moon reading, you saw how often the Two of Swords upright showed up. So some of you may have made decisions about some stuff. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers. Six of Cups in reverse, which also showed up in that reading. I just thought of a couple that I'm aware of. So we talked about how things will be revealed by the moon, especially once the sun showed up. I said when the sun and the moon in the same spread, there's definitely going to be stuff revealed, people getting clarity. So one of my clients / friends / viewers, supporters, saw her ex, her masculine, with another woman, like in a store, in the mall, or whatever it was, and it was definitely confirmed that it was him. With the mask you can't always tell, but confirmed that it was him. And I had said that something from the past that's been avoided. I said, people have been avoiding seeing each other, avoiding bumping into each other, avoiding contact, all that kind of stuff. It's going to happen during this period. Avoiding a particular subject, it's going to come up to be dealt with, things like that. That's what the Six of Cups was meaning for me in that reading. And it's back. So maybe more of us will experience something like this, where something comes up involving a partnership. Anyway, work and finance, 10 of Wands in reverse. Put it there. Love and relationship, 4 of Swords, upright. Physical health. I'm still like stumped by some of the stuff that I've seen here. Or, you know, I'm still like kind of stuck. 2 of Cups is physical health. And spiritual health is the Ace of Cups. Okay, very nice. Let me move this back a little, because I just got a glimpse of the camera that these are not really in frame. And let's put our overall energy in frame too. Let's make sure everything is in frame. All right, now that we can see everything, let's start with the 10 of Pentacles. That's our overall energy. So the 10 of Pentacles is a super positive omen. You know, it can mean that, again, our material needs and anything that we've been trying to manifest, that cycle of manifestation is complete and it's being realized. Everything that we want, that we desire, will be met. And it can be even like to a degree that we wouldn't have thought was possible. So that may be what's scary in terms of needing to take a leap. Thinking now about the dreamer, the fool that we started with. Like, just things going exceedingly well. I think that's probably the best way that I can describe it. And, you know, security, like in all forms and areas, security and stability in all areas of your life, basically. Although with some of the other cards here, it may not look like that right now. This can be raise, promotion, commitment, deepening of commitment in existing relationships, inheritances, finally coming to pass, fruition, or being collected, paid out, however you want to look at it. Other lump sums, maybe small. Well, let me not even limit it, because I said it could be exceedingly well, right? It could be beyond your imagination. Maybe lottery winnings. Yeah, so I take the small back. I pull that word back out of the universe. Lottery winnings in general. And all things like that could be what the 10 of Pentacles may mean for some of us. So moving on to the 2 of Swords, which is the card that's going to most directly represent us this week. 2 of Swords in reverse. This is a card of partnership, of balance. So I talked in the beginning about possibly somebody being out of balance. Just when I looked at the dice, that was the message that I received from its 50-50, and maybe seeking to restore that balance to themselves, which could be part of the door to personal health and healing as well. But in terms of partnerships, it can be where the time has come when you're finally ready to open yourself up to a new partnership, or to a deep and meaningful partnership that maybe it's new, maybe it's not so new, maybe it's something that you're revisiting, that you're finally talking about with the 6 of Cups showing up. So it's possibly a brand new person, brand new love, or it could be somebody from your past that's returning with the 6 of Cups. And even if you're in an existing relationship, how many of us have been in a existing relationship and we still haven't completely been vulnerable with our partner? And that's part of the problem in our relationship, maybe, right? That one of us is closed off, and is not sharing the way the other one is, or our communication is poor because we're concerned or afraid to put our whole guard down. So that can be, again, what the fear is attached to with thinking about the Fool. It's like finally the kind of love and commitment that we want is showing up, and we have to now be brave enough to accept it and realize it and open up. So this can definitely be about putting your guard down, just acknowledging that or your body telling you, your mind telling you, and you realizing that you're ready to open up, to a more deep and meaningful partnership. And this can be whether it's, romantic relationships, but this can also be personal, professional level too. So maybe you're ready to do something, take on something more vast in terms of your work, your career. We have the King of Wands showing up. We had the Ace of Wands, I think, behind this 10 of Pentacles. Right? Was it here? Wands can often be about career and or travel, if not like, things like love and whatever, relationship. So you have these things wanting to sort of happen for you. But whatever area this is that you're like now focused on and feeling that you're ready about, the caveat is that we have to like keep an eye on the other aspects of our life too. So this is where balance still comes into play, even when the card is about something like relationship or work. So if for you it is about relationship, you still got to think about, business, your life in general, whatever that involves, taking care of children or parents or, you know, whatever it is. Otherwise, again, things can become imbalanced and, of course, therefore problematic, right? We don't want that. Six of Cups is often a card about looking back on how things used to be. And so with something like bumping into an ex, those memories come in, you start thinking about, yeah, I remember, or a lot of times our exes will see us on like social media. You post a picture and then you start getting calls like, hey, how you been? What up, big head, and all those kind of things. And it's like, I haven't spoken to you in forever. You're only calling because I posted a pic. So, it can be brought on by things like that. It doesn't have to be. The card is about looking back on how things used to be, and this is sometimes connected with our children and or our childhood also, so it may not have anything to do with love and relationship. It can have to do, for me, the Six of Cups is often connected to our siblings. So like, it's not really about our child, like we're the child in question, even when we're grown. We're the child that the card is talking about, and maybe, it's some sort of dealings with our parents or our siblings or something like that. Sixes tie into, Gemini energy for me. Also, maybe in part because June is the 6th month of the year, and Gemini season starts in May, but it's primarily through June, and maybe that's why. But June or Gemini, the energy of Gemini is also about siblings, so it's very possible. What else I want to tell you about this card? The reversal can mean that we're beginning to pay more attention to the future, though, rather than the past. Although we may be taking some things from our past with us, and or there's some things that we need to resolve from our past, sort of like once and for all, before we're able to ultimately move forward into that future. Just to be clear, this is the placement of surrounding energy. So these things that we're dealing with would be with people, and again, energies that are surrounding us. So again, close friends, family members, co-workers, or something involving our work, our job, a spouse, love interest, or mate. So it's dealing with issues from the past involving those people or dynamics. Moving on to work and finance, it's interesting because the 10 of Wands in reverse I just said Wands can often be about career, right? The 10 of Wands in reverse can often be about, it's kind of like a hint, a message from the universe that you may be best served by seeking new employment situation, okay? If you're currently like working and unhappy in your job, then this could be, you may even be like literally being mistreated, somebody, and just feeling like, well, I don't know what to do. And actually I have a client like that, who is often feels like she's just being mistreated at her job and has talked and thought about leaving for a long time. So perhaps this will be her week if things haven't turned around. Even like in a tight job market, it might be a situation where you can't stand for that. You feel like you can't stand for that, and you shouldn't stand for that. Not for mistreatment, for sure. And so you're just wanting to get out, and the 10 of Wands in reverse can be the universe agreeing with you, like, yeah, you'd be better off, having your own business or working somewhere else or doing something else or whatever. Definitely think things through, don't rush to judgment, or make a rush decision, but you don't have to put up with that. So the best solution may be for you to leave that situation. course, I'm not telling nobody to quit their job if they don't feel like they can do that. Maybe moonlight, if you feel like you need to get out but you can't leave right away, you can't afford it. Maybe start doing something else also. Start working another job part-time to make money or sustain yourself, to give yourself the opportunity to quit that first job. Or if you're thinking about starting your own business, maybe get started on it, while you're still working at this other job. And then when you feel comfortable, let go of the first job. In terms of finances, specifically not necessarily tied to our work, it's going to indicate a current or upcoming challenge, difficulty with money, which is kind of weird, with our overall energy being the Ten of Pentacles. So I think it's saying, like, even if that challenge comes up, like, not to worry, we're going to be okay, even if you have to leave your job, for example, once we're talking about that, not to worry, you're going to be okay. Like, ultimately, is what our overall energy, the Ten of Pentacles upright, would be saying. And again, it is interesting that the Ace of Wands also in reverse, like the Ten of Wands, is immediately behind it. So it could specifically be talking to those people who are having trouble with their place of employment, or maybe lack of employment, and maybe you don't have a job at all, and if you've been challenging, maybe you need to think of a new career path, like the one you were going for maybe isn't for you. Even the Ten of Wands that warns us that a challenge could be coming up also says that it's not a time to panic. If you've been short on money, or you've been feeling short on money for a long time, then it could be that you need to give yourself permission to believe in manifestation and to take a break from worrying, to not worry about cash flow, because your worrying could be what's causing the block. So that may be what the Fool for you is about too. Just like freedom, like freeing your mind from worry and from panic and fear, and allowing the universe to bring you these blessings that you've been, basically sort of slowly manifesting and growing all along, or for a while now. Moving on to love and relationships. Specific to love, the Four of Swords upright can be about feeling sort of disconnected. This could be whether you're single or partnered. If you're partnered, it could be feeling disconnected from your partner or from your partnership. Here comes the ambulances again. Maybe because this card is also about restoration and recovery. So it could be about, getting over some sort of separation or hurt that you had experienced, like moving on from the Three of Swords that we also saw to the Four of Swords now, to this period of restoration and recovery. But if you are feeling like you're in a partnership and you're feeling like disconnecting, you're feeling disconnected and you're feeling like disconnecting from the partnership, that can also be what the Four of Swords means. It can be about needing time apart. It can be about taking a break. And whether that's a very short break, a break can be a couple hours. Like, okay, I need some space to me for a second. Maybe you feel, which I saw in the beginning of the reading. It's coming back to me now with the dice. I saw a need for one to prioritize themselves and to take some space, maybe. Through the die that was talking about weekend away. So yeah, that can definitely be what it is for some of us. Now, for some, on a more positive note, it can be about, a getaway as a couple. Like maybe you as a couple need a break from, all the regular demands of life and everything. You need to get away together. That can be as well for some of us. If you need time apart, then you know, don't hesitate to take it though, and don't be like afraid of that, afraid of people needing space. It's not like a breakup. For those who are single and looking, this is not the weekend to, um, you know, drive yourself crazy trying to find somebody. Yeah. And if you feel like you found somebody already, like there's a particular love interest, definitely not the weekend to push, or you know, to pressure. But if you've been feeling like you having trouble, just meeting someone, period, then this card is also about the time coming soon, you know, where you will meet somebody, but it's not this week. That's the message. And I feel like that ding was confirmation because it sounded kind of like my computer, which is not even on. So it must be my phone doing something, or maybe my tablet. But it was like, as I'm saying, that's the message. I hear like, bing, you know, like ding dong message, or like the old, back in the days of like Windows 3.1, when you get the ding, you have mail, like that kind of thing. Anyway, moving on to the Two of Cups and our physical health. So if you're facing particular health problems, this card can indicate that there's a need for you to like find some sort of partnership with a healer, or you know, it can be, when I say a healer, it doesn't have to be, you know, like a spiritual healer or somebody, you know, somebody like me, or you know, thereabouts, necessarily, that does like holistic stuff or medicine. You know, I'm using the term for provider also, like yeah, provider. Let me use the word provider. Never mind. You need to find a provider, whether that's holistic or that's, you know, whether it's Eastern or Western medicine. That does it. I think that explains what I'm trying to say. You need to find somebody that you trust and that you feel like you can really, you know, work well with toward improving your health. But it's otherwise like a, you know, pretty good omen when it comes to health, this card. And it means that you're likely like to be keeping a positive attitude, which is very important. And of course supportive of good health all on its own. It can really be about what I was talking about with, you know, the cards that we looked at as I was shuffling in the beginning of the reading, and um, the door to health and healing, and the discipline that's required to maybe break some of these habits that we have. So this provider could even be maybe a friend. I talked about somebody maybe giving us advice, with the thinking man. It can be maybe even a friend, or you know, what do they call those people at the gym? A trainer, a dietitian, a nutritionist. Uh, Maybe you want to get into vegetarianism or veganism or keto, and it's one of these people, you know, who's studied those things and knows about it and can help you. Yeah, form a partnership with them. So that can even be like somebody that you know personally, that's into some things, and you know that they're good at it, and you say, you know, can you help me out here? Not necessarily anything we're paying for, or, you know, using insurance, or it's a whole big deal. You know what I mean? Lastly, a really positive card for spirituality. It's signifies all the blessings that we've received, um, you know, are currently receiving, know will receive in the future. And this is a card that says we need to give back some of that love that we've been given, or that we're experiencing now. Like, this is the time to also connect with the divine on a spiritual level, meditating, believing that we are like a, you know, beloved child of God or the universe, and just feeling that support that comes from the divine, and you know, your ancestors, or whatever it is in which you believe, what gives you your spiritual strength and supports and nurtures your spiritual um, life and your soul. Just really connecting with those people and or energies, and really being appreciative of them, knowing that it's always here for us, and we, you know, all we have to do is seek, you know, these people or these energies, and then they support us. And So it's all of that. It's appreciation, and then it's giving back too. And so this can be in the form of you being supportive, being being an ancestor, a supporter, an advisor to someone else, or it can be in the form of you, making a donation to whatever feeds and nurtures your soul, which may be a spiritual leader or a religious leader, a church, a synagogue, Buddhist monastery, whatever it is, in which you believe, and giving back, however you're able to give back. But that's what the card calls for, and that's it. So now we're gonna combine these with the cards from the energy deck and see what other messages we get. And for the card, so we were starting out with the Angel of Love again in reverse. For the card joining the Two of Swords, it is the Magician and the Mirror. So this is kind of like a magician card. And the Two of Swords was about us, sort of being ready to take on the world. And so this is saying, it's like reinforcing the message that we have the ability to do that, and to manifest whatever it is we've been working on, and to make it a reality, to bring it into our life. So again, whether you were focusing on love or work, it's going to be a matter of juggling. The magician can do that. Keeping an eye on this, but also keeping an eye on that. Magician has the ability to do that. In the surrounding energy, joining the Six of Cups in reverse, we have attachment. So this thing that we're facing has to do with something that's still like holding us back, keeping us stuck in the past, that we are attached to. And this is the week that we are going to be looking to break from that and move again toward our future. So if that means having a conversation or seeing someone, bumping into somebody, doing something we've been avoiding, having a conversation we've been avoiding, dealing with something we've been sweeping under the rug, if that's what's going to help us to detach, that's what comes up this week. Work and finance, joining the Ten of Wands, we have the World also in reverse. So this is talking to us about, just sort of being, for some it is a representation of a cycle coming to an end, just like the 10 is. So whatever we've been experiencing, sort of having gone around halfway and being tipped on the other way, like a turning of the tide, the reverse may be happening, or again, more traditional to the card, challenge coming up, but something that we're going to be able to deal with still. Love and relationship, joining the Four of Swords, we have broken heart. And this is a card of healing. The heart healing. And sort of opening up to feel and deal with all the pains in order to be restored. And again, the Four of Swords is also a card of healing and restoration. So this is a positive card in this placement, believe it or not. Two of Cups upright for physical health. We have the Sun in reverse, and the Sun, for me, whether in reverse or upright, is always a positive message as it relates to our physical health. Like if we're, needing, if we're dealing with a doctor, we feel like something's going on with us, it works out. Especially if it's something having to do with like rays or heats or like fevers, in terms of being connected to the sun, those things that people are often really worried about, things like fevers or the need for radiation, treatment and things like that, because it's associated with serious stuff, or x-rays and CAT scans and stuff associated with serious stuff, those things working out, just fine. And then spiritual health, joining the Ace of Cups, we do have the third chakra, which is the solar plexus chakra, and Archangel Chamuel upright. So again, this is about connecting with the divine. Where do you get all those messages? You get them in your stomach, you get them in your gut, in the abdomen, right there in the solar plexus chakra. A lot of people believe that that's where the soul is actually located. That's why we get a sinking feeling when something's not good or not right. You know, that our body's giving us that message, like beware. Or we'll get butterflies in our stomach if we're excited about something, and we're nervous about something, anxious about something, but usually in a more positive way, and that comes from that area too. So that's why people believe that. But the card is upright, so it means that we're not blocked in that area, and we're able to connect, and we should connect. Again, it's joining our Ace of Cups. Actually, something else important about the World in reverse, particularly in this placement here, atop the Ten of Wands in reverse, and talking about work and finance, and what we talked about, maybe somebody needing to leave their job or something. This card can also be about like limited thinking, and like feeling like we don't have any options, or any actions that we can take. Also, we could have like limited thinking in terms of what we feel we deserve or warrant. So maybe you're afraid to leave the job because you don't feel you necessarily do more money or a better position or whatever. Or maybe it's not about leaving the job. Maybe it's about staying with the same company but afraid to seek promotion or to seek advancement, because we've just been really thinking in like limiting and like boxed in by old ways. It's crossing the attachment card, so I just looked at that too. Can't help but notice that now, and we could really feeling attached to like old ways of thinking, and just really being unsure of like how to expand, how to grow, which is something else that was supposed to come with the new moon, because Jupiter, the planet of expansion and growth, also located in Pisces, where the new moon just occurred, and we're still benefiting from those energies of the new moon. And there's a moon in this picture too. I mean, right where I can see, I'm getting moon vibes, even though this is the world. Just by like the glow and everything. So it can be about thinking, like trying to think out of the box and stuff like that. I wanted to make sure I give you that message also. I guess similarly, I should make sure that I was clear about the broken heart. This can definitely, the pain that you're feeling can definitely be from a long time ago. And it's just like, again, this is the like recovery stage, and it's about releasing whatever else is like left of that, and that may be tied to the Six of Cups in reverse and to the attachment card as well. Those things are helping you back, so possible that there's a need for you to just like release them somehow. Maybe you got to scream, maybe you got to vent to somebody, have a good cry or whatever it is, and then just it's about moving forward after that, like reclaiming your power and moving toward the future. I guess I think I talked about the other ones enough. Was I clear that, I don't remember now. Was I clear that the attachment card can really be from your past also? That I think it's in a really good placement there on top of the Six of Cups? If I didn't, that I feel like that too. All right, let's see what we can get from these other cards now. And then we'll move on to what's going on with the planets this week. So again, card most directly representing us this week, we have the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is also our overall energy from this deck, as you may recall. King of Wands as the overall energy, King of Wands as the focus. So I think this joining the Magician is just doubling down, or maybe tripling on this case. This is our third card in the placement, that we, have the strength and the wherewithal and the ability, to lead and to handle whatever the situation is, again, to manifest whatever our dreams are, to realize whatever our dreams are, to sort of take command, take control of our lives, take our power back, as I just said, going over the world in reverse. The King of Wands is motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision and be a leader. And take advice from someone creative if that opportunity comes up. So that could be tied to maybe the thinking man. Even though we are in this very strong position and having the ability to take care of things of ourselves, that doesn't mean that we are beyond listening to the advisement of somebody, you know, and maybe that's more of an expert, or maybe has a more open mind in terms of looking at varied perspectives on a situation. So we can do that. In both cases, with the King of Wands is very possibly an actual Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. But Aries does come up this week because, again, Mars is the ruler of the planet Aries. Mars is moving into Aquarius, where it may have some sort of conjunction now with the wounded healer, I would imagine, because the wounded healer, Chiron, also still like in Aries for like an extended stay. So we'll see, but they may. I'm getting something about those energies possibly clashing, but maybe we'll talk about that more with the planetary calendar. Maybe it'll explain to me what I was just seeing and trying to understand about Chiron. Anyway, joining the attachment card and the Six of Cups in reverse, we have the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands is often about finishing something we've started, like in the past. So like reviving something from the past to be like completed or finished. Page of Wands is outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. So Page of Wands also brings us a message of opportunity in some area. Again, opportunity to bring this situation to a close, or this attachment to an end, so that we can move into our future. Joining the World in reverse and the Ten of Wands in reverse, we have the Ten of Cups also. So I think this is definitely tripling down on the message that there's no need to worry, even if we, you know, it looks like the tide may be turning out of our favor, like we've been dealing with, we've been having nice energy, and all of a sudden it's going into challenge. We have the overall energy of the Ten of Pentacles, we have the Ten of Wands, and now we have the Ten of Cups. This would also be up right. There are no reversals in this particular deck. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. This can also be something that's coming up for those who are or will experience some sort of inheritance, or you know, are the heir to something, or are the legacy to someone, and maybe there's a, you know, some sort of family dealing. The Ten of Pentacles can very much be about family again, family, security, stability. Ten of Cups can definitely be about family as well, and just being surrounded by love in general. Love and relationship. The Six of Pentacles upright. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, and receive a grant or scholarship. In return for heaven's blessings, be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money to reputable charities. Now, of course, that had nothing to do with love, but I felt that I should go ahead and read out the whole card, even though I knew that it wasn't going to have anything to do with love on the card, because it's sitting right here atop where we have the Ace of Cups on the spiritual placement, and again, it's about giving back. So this can definitely be about giving back. It can also have to do with, you know, something coming in right on time to help you. So there can be, for some of us, a serendipitous meeting, or again, bumping into of an ex or something this is going to be something that is helpful to us with regard to our love and relationship for whatever reason, whatever it means. It may be, again, what causes us to end up in a conversation, or somehow otherwise facing something from the past and dealing with it for it to be come to an end, to get some closure, and to be cleared out so that we can move into the future. On another potential note, the Six of Pentacles in terms of love is about balance and reciprocity and equity and equality in a relationship. And getting what you give, you know, and that being positive, you know, love being able to pass from both ways, having the ability to both give and receive, both parties, and, you know, the not being afraid to do that. So all those things also, too, it's about like a mutual exchange. Very, very positive card for love and relationship. Moving on to physical health, we have yet another Two of Cups showing up in this placement. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. Yes, I knew that message was going to be about love and not about physical health. However, these could be things that help us, right, in our physical health. And maybe this is with whom we're partnering. Maybe it's our partnership, our romantic partnership, that is going to help us with our with our love and relationship, whether it's the energies of those things or it's our actual romantic partner. For example, let's see, what example? Well, my ex, my children's father, he used to be a runner, right? He's still pretty athletic. Can do any and everything on like rollerblades and whatnot. It's pretty entertaining. But he used to be a runner. I'm not. You know, so that was always something that he could, you know, try to help me with, or get me to do with him, like, you know, going, let's go running, let's go jogging, let's go whatever. So it could be something like that. I'm using my ex because I don't have anybody that would actively consider my actual partner right now. You know, that we're in a committed relationship. Not that I'm in a committed relationship with my ex, but when I was in one is when that occurred. That's why I'm using him. Nothing between me and my children's father, but platonic friendship and co-parenting. Anywho, you get the idea of what that could possibly be. Some sort of partnership, loving partnership that is supportive. And even though the Two of Cups is primarily about love, sometimes it is also about familial partnerships. So this could be family, supporting family, could be siblings, again looking at the sixes. Yeah, somebody that you trust, or you feel you can trust, and they will be supportive of you in a partnership towards your health and improving it. And last but not least, spiritual health. We have this very spiritual card coming up. It is Judgment. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. And all of those things do go toward spiritual health. In general, for me, judgment, the thing that most excites me about the card is that for me, it tends to be about abundance that's earned. So it's about, you know, positive things coming in when you, and that can be tied to the spiritual health too. Like when you're meditating, what are you meditating on? You know, maybe you're using that time during your meditation for manifestation as well. And so you're bringing in those things that you very well deserve. The universe agrees, God agrees, you know, again, whatever it is in what you believe, agrees that you are deserving of these things and is ready to reward you or award you. And that's what I have for you this week. I hope you have enjoyed the reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. And for those who'd like to stick around for just a moment, I'm going to go over, again, what's happening with the planets this week. it may affect us also. All right. That was my computer coming on. We're going to go to the calendar and what falls into this week. So today, at 1:23 a.m. is actually when Mars entered Aquarius at 0 degrees Aquarius. And at 7 minutes later, that's it, Mars at 1:30 a.m., Venus also entered Aquarius. So that couple, that partnership, showing up both of together, basically, almost simultaneously in the sign of Aries. I'm in Aquarius. Venus also at 0 degrees. On March 9th, at 8:32 p.m., March 9th, Ghostface Killer's birthday, for anybody that needs to know. That's just part of the needless trivia that's in my head. At 8:32 p.m., Mercury will enter Pisces, also at 0 degrees. Then on March 10th at 5:45 a.m., we'll experience the first quarter moon, 19 degrees Gemini. And also on March 10th at 1:19 p.m., Vesta enters Aquarius, 0 degrees Aquarius. So let's talk about these a little bit more. For more information on Mars entering Aquarius, I went to www.tarot.com. Mars in Aquarius, idealistic, original, and independent. The transit is from the 5th of March. Well, today's the 6th. It said the 6th on the planetary calendar. But here on tarot.com it says March 5th. I don't know. The 5th through the 14th of April. While fierce Mars moves through the brilliant sign of Aquarius, we're eager to fight for our freedom, our individuality, and our community. Aquarius is a sign that marches to its own beat, and we simply won't allow our ideas and ambitions to be silenced or shoved aside during this transit. Mars in Aquarius is a time to revolutionize our way of doing things. It blesses us with magnificent visions to improve not only our daily lives, but society as a whole. Our minds are clear, and we are free to think and to act in whatever way is needed. We can see a better future and the steps we must take in order to reach it. Mars's transit through Aquarius is a time to stand up for our rights and to fight for change. Aquarius is detachment. Aquarius is a detached sign that doesn't typically get too fired up, but Mars's warrior-like presence here adds the fuel that is normally lacking and encourages us to champion our ideas and ideals. We're fighting for our freedoms, but we aren't using our fists. With Mars in Aquarius, our minds are our greatest weapons. Strength lies in fresh ideas and original plans during this transit. Traditional ways of thinking will only lead to more of the same. Mars in Aquarius is a time to identify what we want and what we want the future to look like, and to take active steps toward it. It's not just about thinking outside the box. It's about completely forgetting about the box. The only way to make things radically different is to act in radical ways. Yes, and I was just thinking as I was reading that Mercury is also in Aquarius right now. So now we actually have all three of those planets there, because we just learned that Mercury is not leaving until the 10th. That's when it goes into Pisces. So right now, Mercury, Mars, and Venus all in Aquarius. Injustices and societal problems are impossible to ignore while Mars is in Aquarius. Aquarius is the humanitarian of the zodiac and especially concerned with what's happening to the underdog. While Mars is firing up this sign, we can clearly see what needs to change and how. We can not just see the problems, but the solutions. There's a powerful opportunity for reformation and revolution during this transit that we don't always have available to us. It's hard to follow anyone else's rules while Mars moves through free-thinking Aquarius. And who would want to? Mars in Aquarius is a rebel who shoves aside traditional ways of thinking and of doing things. for a more original approach. We're all capable of brilliance if we allow ourselves to disconnect from our typical patterns and feelings in order to embrace a brand new, totally different way of doing things. It's about liberating ourselves and growing into our own bit by bit. And goes on to talk about if you were born with Mars in Aquarius, like I was. So for those of you who also have this natal transit in your chart, you may want to go on to www.tarot.com and read the rest of this. I'm moving on to Venus in Aquarius, friendly, optimistic, and outgoing. Venus is the planet that guides our desires, our money, and our one-on-one relationships. Because Aquarius is the sign of friendship, it seems like its energy would work quite well with loving Venus. But Aquarius can be an emotionally detached sign, which could put a confusing spin on love and intimate relationships while Venus spends time here. Venus in Aquarius is the time to love with purpose and to uphold the ideals of unity, kindness, and individuality. We're called on now to surround ourselves with others and to open our minds to all forms of love. The line between love and friendship is very thin once Venus enters Aquarius. Aquarius rules friendship and groups of all kinds. So during this transit, we often find ourselves falling for people that we already know. We may realize those we've previously written off as just friends could be our perfect match. The likelihood of meeting a new lover through mutual friends and social outings also increases greatly while Venus is in Aquarius. Aquarius is less attached to its emotions than other signs, relying more on the head than the heart when relating to others. We aren't so interested in connecting over passionate encounters and sweet nothings while Venus is in Aquarius. Instead, we want to unite with those who think the same as we do. Aquarius's loose grip on love gives Venus room to move, making love less sticky and partnership less confusing. Those who like the warm and squishy stuff might find others a bit standoffish during this transit. However, the Aquarian approach is less positive and can bring a needed breath of reason and fresh air to partnerships. If in a committed relationship, I'm sorry, I just heard March 9th isn't Ghostface Killer's birthday. May 9th is. March 9th is the anniversary of Biggie's death. I just heard that. I'm sorry. As I was reading, I had to stop and tell you. The Notorious B.I.G. It's the anniversary of his death. Okay, anyway. In a committed relationship, Venus in Aquarius lightens the level of intimacy and encourages us to reconnect with the honesty, friendship, and common interests that drew us to our partners in the first place. Working together on an environmental or social cause that's meaningful to both partners can also help to rekindle hearts during this transit. That could also be what happens here in terms of physical health. Working together on an environmental or social cause could be helpful, I think, to one's health. We may even feel and find that we feel a lot freer to be individuals within our relationships. So maybe in terms of needing space, maybe that's why the space is needed this week with the love and relationship, because we're feeling freer to be an individual. Venus in Aquarius makes it clear that pursuing our own passions separately enriches what we bring back to our relationships. For people who are single and ready to mingle, this is one of the best times to do it. The planet of love and desire in the sign of idealism and creativity puts an unconventional and experimental flair on romance and opens up our minds about who and how we love. Parties with friends, organized meetups, and protests and other social causes are hotspots for meeting like-minded lovers now. And because Aquarius also likes things a little weird, we may find ourselves interested in people and experiences that we have never been attracted to before. Long story short, the more open we are now, the more likely we are to find love. While Venus in Aquarius, while Venus is in Aquarius, we're drawn to modern, original forms of art and personal style. It's a great time to experiment with new ways to dress and decor. We also find greater benefit from high-tech gadgets, and splurging on new electronics now can help us well beyond this transit. People born with Venus in Aquarius are humanitarians at heart. You believe in the power and inspiration of people everywhere, and you surround yourself with kindred souls. You're social and outgoing by nature and feel most alive when you're with your friends. You are more interested in connections of the mind than connections of the heart, and you strive to maintain your individuality even when you're in a committed relationship. You also know that relationships don't last when they aren't built on foundations of friendship. Therefore, you have a hard time being just friends. When you find someone you share so much with, you see no reason not to take it to the next level. Others tend to think of you as a bit of an oddball. You march to the beat of your own drum and don't seek the approval of others. You have a great, unique vision of where you're going in life, and no one is going to stop you or to make you think differently. When it comes to your personal appearance, you express yourself creatively and never stick to one style for very long. Experimentation is the spice of life, and it gives you a thrill to surprise others with something new. You have big visions, original thoughts, strong values, and an open mind, and the more you embrace these traits, the more magnificent your life can become. Wow, okay. And now for Vesta in Aquarius, I ended up on dreamastromeanings.com. Vesta in Aquarius man. Men with Vesta in Aquarius are often focused on accomplishing some common goal, which will improve humanity. These men are fighters for freedom and rights of repressed people, and people who have been deprived of their own rights for some reason. These men love their freedom very much, and they often choose partners who don't mind having an open relationship. These men don't allow their freedom and independence to be jeopardized and are usually not faithful. I got from this can also be, why at this time things are drumming up in terms of war. I've got it's talking about those people who will be volunteering, those men and women who will step up during this transit to volunteer to fight, wherever that it may be. Maybe driven by Vesta in Aquarius. Also, Aquarius rules things like tech and online foolishness, and I had been talking last week about the possibility of something going viral or whatever. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok. I don't have a channel, so don't look for me there to my videos and stuff, but in my government name I have a TikTok that I've never posted a video to, that I only open so that I can the videos of my friends that have active TikToks and stuff like that. And just that was enough for me to witness this as the TikTok turns sort of anthology that went on this week between this guy that wanted to be a polygamist that ended up sleeping with this woman who basically paid to be flued out, as they say. She flued herself out to him to have sex with her. It's a whole mess. Only stayed for one day, or had sex and got back on another plane and went home, and then got home and found out that he was seeing other people. Well, he talked to her about wanting to be polygamous before, polyamorous or whatever it was. So she knew what kind of person he was, but She still, for some reason, thought that they were exclusive, even though they were strangers. Practically, you know, they had been talking for 6 months, but only over the internet. They never met before. She thought they were in an exclusive relationship and that she could trust him, and told him not, you know, go ahead, don't wear a condom. And then found out when she got back that he was not exclusive by seeing him on a date with somebody else online. I think like the same day she got home. It was a whole mess, and it has taken over TikTok completely over the past few days. But all of that would make sense in this, and not only in Aquarius energy, but it sounds like, you know, with how people, maybe particularly men or the masculine in our, you know, for our purposes, maybe in some of our, you know, for some of us, maybe sort of checking out their options, or may not want to have a traditional relationship, may want to do something non-traditional. Vesta Aquarius in women. This ours is only one line. It's very short. Women with Vesta and Aquarius are open-minded and easygoing. Their nature is tolerant, and they're not the least bit possessive. So maybe one of these men needs to find one of these women, and they can, you know, create their own love style. And that's all we have this week. Again, please do like, if you stayed this long, please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week. Namaste.